What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today I want to talk about another wilder cheese team, and this one is even cheesier than the last ones we took a look at. It is a 3-hero team. Just 3 heroes on the board, not even filling the entire team. And at this point, you know, in a game like this where every hero basically gives your team an advantage, when you only want to place 3 heroes, there is some real cheese going on. So we want to take a look at it. I want to explain it to you why there are only 3 heroes on the board. And well, let's start with a bit of a demonstration maybe. So this is our team, and it follows the essential principle of the wilder cheese, which means what you don't really want is that you have a hero that is defeated. And for more details, I definitely recommend you watch the video I posted yesterday, going into more detail about wilder cheeses, about the most competitive forms of those. But the thing that you have to know is you are in general concealed for 10 seconds, and during this time you're also invincible. But every time a non-summoned ally is defeated, your concealed state duration is reduced by 3 seconds, and you want to avoid that. So non-summoned ally means if you place Damien here, you are actually safe in that regard, because Damien is never really on the board. What he does is he summons one of his chariots, which is not an ally, it is a summoned ally. So it doesn't count for the conceal reduction. The other hero right here is really whatever. You can use whatever you want. Some heroes are of course better than others. Usually I would use something like Lorsan. Lorsan would be particularly nice, or Lily May could be good. Tazi in some situations. I put Granny now here because she's a Supreme Plus hero, and I really don't want to put up too much of a Paragon advantage, as we have a little bit of a problem that I kind of want to get into. But let's take a look at this team first. Formation is incomplete. No game. It is actually complete. Yeah, and the main carry hero for this is actually Lenya. Lenya is by far the best single target damage dealer in the wilder faction, and the one that can steamroll the most. She actually has scaling buffs, and with Lightforge spell and her kicks and stuns, she's capable of annihilating entire teams and dealing a ton of damage with that. So pretty great hero. The problem is, well, mine is just Supreme Plus, and what that really means is, well, if once we fight a stronger team, this team really doesn't work anymore. So our cheese just falls apart because we don't have enough damage. Let me demonstrate. And Turtle Legs has actually the best team for this to test now. Big shout out to Turtle Legs, great streamer, great YouTuber, always does very nice guides for battle drills, which I can absolutely recommend to you guys. So gets a like from me, shout out to you, man. Definitely check out his Twitch and YouTube. So the team that we are going to use here is with Lorsan. I want to kind of counter the Paragon advantage that he has over me a little bit. Still, with 3 heroes on the board, we have an inherent disadvantage in terms of inspiration and intimidation. What that means for us, we'll go over in a second. The first thing to note, however, is 2 things that I want to point out during this fight. We start the fight with no attackable hero on the board. Until Damien summons his first toy chariot, there's no attackable hero for the enemy, which kind of leads to a very interesting situation where those enemies just stand still until Damien summons his chariot. Keep an eye out for that. The next thing I want you to keep an eye out for is the time that it actually takes for our Lenya to reach her ult. And in comparison, for Andre it was 5 to 6 seconds. So keep an eye out for the timer and the ult bar, and this nice effect of them just standing there after Nero does his ult. So don't really move until Damien summons his chariot. Damage on Thorin, not too great, I have to say. Yeah, he's kind of being healed up by Thorin. And until we are defeated at the 11th second, which is the first second at which we become attackable, we were unable to actually get to an ult. And this is kind of the downfall of this team, in my opinion. While it is certainly cheesy, and I think can work for some group, there is one big disadvantage when you go into endgame PvP. And the reason for this downfall we will find in the character stats. So this is Lenya. Kind of an overlooked hero, got a little bit of light in Ravaged Realm. I definitely have to upgrade her to +10 again, by the way. can't forget that. Her main thing is that she starts duels. Duels are started by her ult, and once she starts a duel, she will just kick an enemy to the side of the battlefield, which looks absolutely great, and then kick them until they are basically dead. And yeah, she has stuns for that. That is the short form of this animation we can take a look at. Not very special, it's just an A tier, but her Mythic Plus gives her a ton of buffs once she wins a duel at +10. Just doing more damage than the enemy counts as winning a duel, which makes her more viable for bosses in PvE and for Ravage Drum, where she's usually used at, so I have to get that upgraded again. The thing about her is she does a ton of damage in general, with her abilities and everything. She has stuns, she has kicks, she has a lot of crit and crit damage boost, and if you get her some Mythic Plus charms, can be an absolute monster. So that is really nice about her. The thing is, you really want her ult when you're dealing with stronger teams, and you really need her to deal damage quickly enough so that she gets at least 1-2 kills during the time that the invincibility is up. This also plays into the artifact. I was using Lightforge spell. Lightforge spell every time basically you defeat an enemy gives you boosts, and we can see assist or defeat, then we get Fizz and Magic Death, and the other thing is the last ally becomes unaffected, so we are also seeing, which doesn't really matter for us, gains 24% increased attack and life drain. Then we have an extra boost every time we defeat an enemy, and we extend the blessing duration. So we really want to get that extra boost. We have execution, we have attack, so that is really nice for us. The thing, however, is we struggle against some Paragon stats, and in this situation, you would think that the energy that I just showed you against Turtle Legs, that it would be an effect of energy regen reduction on energy hit. On the contrary, energy on hit just reduces the amount of energy that we get, or heightens the amount of energy we get when we receive damage. We, however, don't receive any damage, so that doesn't play a role here and is therefore not relevant. Debuff, focus, and resilience aren't either. The two things that we want to take a look at are the pair of damage boost and reduction, and inspiration and intimidation. Mainly, as we are fighting, I have a Supreme Plus hero. Only the damage reduction part of this pair really comes into effect. Has a long text, boils down to in this situation of us having no rivalry stats, the enemy having 24 points of damage reduction, meaning it is just that the enemy receives 24% less damage, which is a massive amount. It is actually comparable to the buff Fresto receives. So fairly close to this buff, which is when the copy of Fresto and himself are in the same row, they receive 30 damage reduction, which is one buff that was really celebrated for PvE, because it makes Fresto so tanky there. And that is just something that every P4 enemy that Malenia fights has, so it's kind of horrible. Next thing, at the start of this season, implemented and heavily discussed inspiration and intimidation. Inspiration heightens the value of healing effects, shield value, returns, and extra energy gains and buff effects by 1% for every point of inspiration. Intimidation reduces the same effects for the enemy. Those are team-wide effects, and those inherently work well against hero teams that just use 3 heroes, because against strong teams we are inherently at a Paragon disadvantage. Even if Malenia was P4, we would still only have 3 heroes, the enemy would have 5, we would be at a disadvantage, our energy gains, buff, and everything would be reduced, and therefore we would be at a slight disadvantage. So the question really is, if we already know that, and if we are at a disadvantage, for who is this team even good? Well, in my opinion, the people that profit the most are the ones that really went for Lenya, that really invested into Lenya. If you have a Lenya P4 or something, or Lenya that is at least higher Paragon than your enemy, then you might really profit from that. Also, really a lot of people underestimate how strong Lenya really is. You can see we even got a kill right there, so long as it isn't some team like the one that we had there for Turtle Legs, who was really tanky, who had like the Ludovic there next to his hero. Just being immune for 10 seconds can be really cheesy, and on top of that, there is also some extra time being concealed for her when she defeats an enemy, so that can also be really helpful. Still, nonetheless, well, higher Paragon teams usually win. I saw this punch up a little bit though, like for people that had better investment into into Lenya, they could be a little bit of a Paragon disadvantage with that. So it's certainly not a bad team. It is certainly very cheesy and interesting that we just see 3 heroes here, and it is a statement to how OP this Wilder skill really is. I don't think it's just the best thing to go down to 3 heroes. I think you generally have a bigger advantage if you include the heroes we just discussed yesterday and build these stronger versions of this same team. But it is interesting to see, and I thought you guys would care about this. I thought you guys would be interested to see this, and I see some screenshots on Discord of this going around, and I just want to clarify, it's really not the overpowered team that suddenly popped up and will absolutely defeat everything. It is not a goal build, I would say. It is not something that you necessarily want to achieve, but you should be aware of the possibility of this and maybe not underestimate it. If somebody is as cheeky as to build it in a Supreme Arena defense, then you should know, can be a little bit tough because he will be immune, he will be invincible for 10 seconds. Lastly, of course, a little bit for our sponsor for this video, Lootbar. Lootbar.gg is the best site for buying dragon crystals, in my opinion. Just the most comfortable one. You can easily buy a ton of dragon crystals at a very cheap price, actually, which is really, really nice. A lot more comfortable than other competitors like Cola Shop. And they also run currently a little bit of an event together with me. If you register an account through the link down in the description below, you will get an 8% discount code and a 3% discount code on top, only viable for the first 200 people that register through the link. And also on my Discord server, there is currently a giveaway, also sponsored by Lootbar, that is for the summer. It's for the Sunrise Passage Pack. If you buy the Sunrise Passage Pack, two people that buy it through my link will be selected. You have to use the link that is on my Discord for that. 2 people that buy this pack will be selected, and they will receive an $8.50 coupon, essentially getting refunded for the pack. And with this, you will be able, for example, to buy the secret track or something. Whatever you really want, can be quite nice. Nice little giveaway, in my opinion. Very, very cool. So if you want to support the channel, go through the link in my Discord or through the link in the description and just check out Lootbar. In my opinion, it's really the best site for dragon crystals. Other than that, this time I wonder whether or not you like the current version of the Wilder skill, because personally I hate it. Oh, it's just such an annoying skill. And tell me what you think about Lenya. Is she a hero that you summoned for? Do you even own her on the account? Are you happy that she now has a team where she can shine? And with that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.